Hey guys, I wanted to hop on here real quick and just give you something real simple that 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 probably, if you've been playing guitar for a long time, you probably already know. If you're trying to learn how to play guitar, then this may be new to you but helpful. But if you've been playing for a long time, there may be one thing, especially when we get to the D chord, that you may not have noticed before. And let me know if you did or not. Maybe this is just new to me. But I wanted to share this because I think it helps us learn chords. So this is really, if you've been playing for you, this might help you teach other people how to play chords. And if you're just learning, this may help you learn chords a little bit faster. And make cause things to make a little more sense. So today we're going to we're going to start with G, then we're going to go to C, and then I want to show you in the D chord, as well as E and F, and then in A and B it's a little bit different, but it's still the same interval. So I call this the third interval. Let's change here to my guitar, and the screwdriver in the way there. So if I go to do a normal G chord, so that's the G chord that we all do as guitar players. I don't know about you, every time I get a guitar, I do the G chord in some form or fashion. It may be that one, it may be this one. I mean, that's still the G major. So why is that the G major? It's because a major chord. This is going to get a little bit geeky, but that's just who I am. I get kind of geeky about music. I'm a technical person, so the reason this is the G chord, the G major chord, is because a major chord is made up of three notes, and these three notes are three notes in the major scale. So if I do the G major scale. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So if I go 1, that's a G note. 2, 3 is a B note. Then I got C. Then D is my fifth note in that scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a D and that's a D. So if I play my 1, my 3, and my 5, I've got a G major chord. So, and you can do that in any scale, in any key, in any chord. If it's a major chord, it's going to be 1, 3, 5. So, because that's a little bit complicating, that's a little bit confusing. Maybe in a later date I'll simplify that scale. But for now, we're talking about learning chords, learning open chords. Now notice these top two strings. I've got my G note, and my third interval is always, except for when we get to the A chord or anything between the third string and the second string, every other time your third interval is always going to be one string down, one fret back. Okay, so there's my G note, go one string down, one fret back. There's my B note, so G, B, and D. Okay, so if I go to a C chord, I'm just going to bring this whole thing down one fret, and then notice it's that same interval. I'm using the same two fingers, middle finger, ring finger, middle finger on the bottom, ring finger on top, and then G string open, and that's the triad, or the three notes that makes up a C major chord. Of course, to do an open chord on a 6-string guitar, we're going to add our first finger on the first fret, second string, and just play it from the 5th string down. So that's C major, but the reason it's C major is because of these three notes that makes the third interval and the 5th interval, which is that. So 1, 3, 5. Okay, so obviously I could go down again and get to F, but I want to save that for later. Let's go to the D chord. So this is what was new to me. So when I learned chords, I learned that G and C is just like that, and F's just like that. But until probably 5-6 years ago. I didn't realize exactly that the D had that same shape, um, but it makes it so much easier to teach others how to play guitar. So if I take the same shape down one string, down back one fret, using my middle finger, using my ring finger, all the way down to the bottom. So here's my root note, just like it was here. My root note was G, my root note here was C, all the way down to the bottom, 2 strings. Now my root note is D, and my third interval is down one string, back one fret. That F sharp is the third note in the key of D, in D major. So that's the first and third of the D major triad. Now my fifth is an A, so we can grab that A right here on the second fret, third string, and it makes a normal D triad. Because the fourth string is a D note, then we're just going to play from the fourth string down. Right, so there's our D. But again, the reason it's D is because of this simple shape that we've got with these 2 fingers. So we've got the G, we've got the C, third interval, and then we've got the D on the bottom. So that leaves us with, so that's 3 of the 5 open chords, major open chords that we have on a guitar. And I'll touch on that just a bit. Yeah, you're right. You heard me right. 5 major open chords. So there's truly only 5 major open chords. So you can learn those 5. And if if you've heard of the caged method or whatever, that's all it's talking about. There's 5 open chords that are major. And those chords are C, A, G, E, and D. So C, A, G, E, D, and that spells caged. So you can always remember that that's the 5 open chords, and learn those 5 chords, and realize every other major chord that you play that's outside of those 5 is still one of those shapes, and you're just moving it around to make the chord. So I believe in keeping it simple, and that I think that will help tremendously. I should have moved in here sooner. Let's move into the fretboard. So what are the other chords? So we covered G, we covered C, and we got D, all using that same interval, that same down one string, back one fret interval. So then let's go to the E chord. So the E chord, if I go to an E note right here on the 4th string, 2nd fret, that's E. And then if I go down one string, back one fret, that's the 3rd interval to E, which would be a G sharp here. So I've got E and G sharp, and then my 5th would be a B. So I can go up here and grab it with my pinky maybe, or I can move this finger over there, or I can just reposition my fingers. So let's use this finger in this place, and then put this finger up here. We'll just trade those. So now I've still got this E note. I've got the 3rd, and here's my 5th up on the 5th fret, or 5th string, 2nd fret. So now if I play all 6 strings, so top string is a E, the bottom string is a E, the 2nd string is a B, so all that goes with an E major chord. So there's your E major, but it still has that 3rd interval, same shape, just like we did on a G chord, just like we did on a C chord, just like we had on a D chord. It's also in the E chord, okay? Or maybe you can do it, but however you want to do it, but you definitely have to change fingers. And then, so what about the F chord? What about the A chord? So the A chord is the open chord that we have not covered yet. So the A chord looks like this. It's simply all 3, both the 2nd string, the 3rd string and the 4th string all fretted on the 2nd fret and playing from the 5th string down, because the 5th string is A. So you fret those the best you can, any way you can. I tend to do something like this with my fingers and just put them all together right there. So I'm using my 3rd finger on the 2nd string and my middle finger on the 4th string, and then I bring in my 1st finger right there, real close to them. So you know, some people will say you can do it like that, and you can, but if you play the bottom string, it's not an A major anymore. Now I think that become a A6 or something. So that's not an A major. So I believe it is A6. So you gotta leave that bottom string open or fret it at the 5th fret to make it an A major. Okay, so if you fret at the 5th fret, it's an A note, so it's just another octave from there. Actually, it's 2 octaves higher than there, so you end up with 3 octaves when you do it that way. But anyway, why is it different? So here I've got these intervals, and then also when I come to A, it's different. And that's because, okay, here's my root note, A, but anything between this 3rd string, which is a G string, to the next string, which is a B string, is going to be off by 1 fret. And we may cover that later into more detail, but it's simply because of the way the guitar is tuned. So the guitar is tuned from top to bottom in fourths, or if you go from bottom to top, it's in fifths. So again, that G major scale, or not G major, any major scale, whatever key. So if this top string is an E, and if I do a E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 is my next. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is an A. So the next string is an A, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is a D. The next string is a D, and then if I go from the D, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a G, and the next string is a G, and then I'll go from the G, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a C, but yet my next string is not a C, it's a B. In order to get to C, I gotta go up 1 more fret. Alright, that's why the tuning is weird. You know, when you learn to tune a guitar, you go to the 5th fret all the way down until you get to the G and B interval, then you gotta go back a fret. And that's all because of the way the guitar is tuned. And it's tuned that way so that we can do open chords. If we tune that to a C, then the bottom string would have to be an F, and then we would have, our chords would be impossible. So the guitar is tuned that way so that we can play these open chords a lot easier. But we always have to keep in mind that transitioning from the 3rd string to the 2nd string is going to require, in order to keep those same patterns and same scales, you're going to have to jump up 1 fret whenever you make that change. So that would be more if you're playing lead or playing some kind of melodies. That'd be more to take into consideration doing that when you're playing between these two strings. But it comes into play real fast when we learn these 3rd intervals and when we get to the A note. So if I've done my normally, right, so everywhere else the 3rd interval is down 1 string, back 1 fret. So if I did that here, here's my root note of a A, and then if I go back down 1 fret and back down 1 string, back 1 fret, you would think it would be that, but that becomes a minor. That's actually an A minor. If I add the E, then it becomes an A minor. But it's simply moving this that should be the 3rd, instead of it being a flattened 3rd, which is what makes a minor, then I move it up because of the way the guitar's tuned. And now I've got a A major. So, and that's again, it's because this B string is just tuned to a B instead of a C. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you you learned something. Please let me know if you learned something, or if that helped you to learn your chords, if that created more questions, or you want to you got a question about anything. Please leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, please click like. Thank you very much.